This card from the Scientific American Geography deck is what started everything for me. On the front, it asks the question, what are the 7 summits? What are the names of the 7 summits, and on what continent is each summit located? Now, does anyone in the crowd know the answer to this? Not too many of you. See, somehow, 7-year-old me had memorized this card word for word. I was obsessed with the idea of climbing the 7 summits, and I quickly determined that this was my life stream. While I credit my fascination for mountain climbing to the trivia card, I truly believe my passion for nature was a great gift my parents passed down to me. They're both athletic people, and from a young age encouraged me to join them on their adventures. It helped me build my strength as a hiker and my passion for nature. Every weekend, for as long as I can remember, we would climb mountains. Well, hills. They're more hills than mountains, really, but I developed my strength as a hiker, and they soon introduced me to what is now one of my favorite places in the world, Yosemite National Park, located at the base of the Sierra Nevada range. The hikes here were much more longer and more tiresome, but that never really stopped me. I never complained. I was too fascinated with the beauty of the region to even care about my achy legs. For those of you who have seen Yosemite, you probably know what I'm talking about. There is one hike in particular, though. We had been climbing down after completing Yosemite Falls in the dead of winter, and I was not used to climbing for that long, or in that cold temperature. Somehow, my mom managed to tell me stories of fairy tales and adventures, and we made it back to Yosemite Lodge in one piece, though very tired. And I only think I forgot about my achy legs and frozen hands after we got hot pizza from the lodge's cafeteria. But these experiences contributed to my youth and my passion and my strength as a hiker. My passion encouraged me to take a wild adventure to the Himalayas with my family. We set a goal to climb Everest Base Camp at 17,600 feet. And in the 6 months leading up to the eventual 2-week hike, we trained day in and day out. I was not a fan of training, and not because of the hiking. I loved the hiking. No, I hated being woken up at 4 a.m. to drive and climb some peak. I did not like getting up early, especially on the weekends, which were supposed to be my off days, right? That being said, all of those endless early mornings eased the intensity of the hike. But that did not mean there weren't issues to deal with. We were faced with elongated periods of cold, rocky terrain, and even the start of the monsoon season. We quickly fell sick, and after reaching the Alpine region, we could not eat for, I think, 3 or 4 days. Quite a long time, especially in such high altitudes. There were 2 things that kept me going during that time. One was the promise of incredible views every day. I don't think anything can compare to the beauty of the Himalayas. The second, and probably the more important thing for me, was that I had to beat my dad there. Throughout the trek, we took turns walking and leading the group, and eventually somebody had to get there first. Yeah, it was me. Coming back down was much harder in the way that we didn't have a goal to climb to. There was no peak that we were going to reach. There was no endpoint. I think what really kept us going was the promise of a fluffy bed and warm shower once, actually not warm, hot shower once we got back. That shower felt really good. Now, despite climbing Everest Base Camp, I'm considering summiting Kilimanjaro my greatest accomplishment. What makes Kilimanjaro so special is the fact that it's on this card. Yep, number 4, Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa, 19,300 feet, 5,900 meters high. Thanks to all my prior experience and preparation, I definitely think the first portion of the hike was easier. Though there is one thing to note. The Himalayas were a high alpine range, while Kilimanjaro was a freestanding mountain, the tallest at that. Because of this, the real challenge only came on summit day. We were woken up at midnight to start the nearly 9-hour journey up the steep face of a cratered volcano. It was not an easy climb. We had to go up over 3,300 feet, and that wasn't even to the top of Kilimanjaro, merely a resting point before another 300 feet up. I don't mean to disgust anyone in the crowd today, but I threw up quite a few times. It was not a pleasant view, especially for the people who were coming with us. I feel really bad for them. I think the pain and nausea only really stopped after I took an altitude pill. And even then, nature's forces wore away at my strength. I couldn't feel my hands or feet, and I could no longer carry my backpack. All I wanted to do in that moment was curl up and sleep. But this was my dream, and could I really stop so close to the finish line? Never in a million years. So I picked myself back up and started walking. Do you guys remember Dory, that blue fish from Finding Nemo? Her little catchphrase is, "Just keep swimming, just keep swimming." Yeah. Repeating that out loud over and over and over again is what eventually got me to the top. And if you think this is a joke, you can ask my uncle. He was right behind me all the way up to the top. Thankfully, coming down Kilimanjaro was way easier, and I didn't have to struggle too much. It was still a long hike, but it was much easier. My experiences on Kilimanjaro and at Everest Base Camp were truly crucial to who I am today. I mean, I just climbed a mountain. That's a pretty incredible experience, and it teaches me about myself and about other people I know. It teaches me to be open-minded and be aware of all the cultures around us. But I think the most important lesson I got out of this journey was that I was resilient as a human being. Resilience, or the capacity to recover quickly from setbacks, is what makes us uniquely human. Change is brought forth by those who choose to stand up to their obstacles. And as we have seen throughout history, those who stand up to their problems are those who end up living their lives to the fullest. While Kilimanjaro was a wonderful experience, I do have another 6 summits to climb before getting everything on this checklist. The pandemic unfortunately started shortly after we came back from Tanzania and put a hold on my plans, but not my dreams. The resilience that I proved to myself on these 2 journeys are crucial to who I am as a person, and I wish to share that strength with other people. I don't think I can compare my struggles and my pain to theirs, but definitely my strength. We all have the capacity for resilience, and how we choose to act in certain situations and in the face of our difficulties is what makes or breaks us. And as Dory famously said, just keep swimming. Thank you.